to go in. There's ball.
Slow down, hold the ball.
Pleading for them to hold the ball, but the opportunity arose there, and Dave Brownlee buries it. The Steelers up to 6, and that surely is it.
The Sheffield crowd delighted by the result, especially when I present Colin Price with the Big 8 trophy. Hello and welcome to a new series of the Big 8. We're at Ponds Forge International Sports Centre in Sheffield for a knockout tournament to find Britain's best wheelchair basketball team. The Big 8 teams come from all over Britain, and seeding is determined by the team's positions in the league. Number 1 seed are the defending champions, the Sheffield Steelers. Number 2, a team which has had a terrific season, the Milton Keynes Aces. 3, last year's beaten finalists, the Oldham Owls. At 4, the LGS Jets from Aylesbury. Number 5, the West of Scotland, and at 6, it's Capital City Jazz from London. 7 are the newcomers to the Big 8 tournament, the Greenbank Meteors from Liverpool. And at 8, it's Division 2 champions, Telford Celtics. This is what all the excitement is about, the Big 8 trophy, which goes to the winners of a competition. Throughout the series, we'll also be reporting on the different aspects of a sport of wheelchair basketball. Today, we feature the Great Britain women's squad. What sort of sport is wheelchair basketball for women?
Tough one. No wimps. No nail varnish. Don't worry about breaking nails.
The opening match of the Big 8 is between the two teams at opposite ends of the competition, the number 1 seed Sheffield Steelers versus Telford Celtics, seeded number 8.
We go into it as favourites. The lads are aware of the fact that we do go into this as favourites, but I've tried to stress to them that it's just an ordinary game. Forget about the cameras and actually take one game as it comes.
Somebody's not pleased with me upstairs was my first thoughts. We've got the draw that nobody else wanted, but that's how it goes.
Well, we'd have hoped for a better draw, but we're not worried. Once we knew the draw, we've been working on it. We've been working on defence and attack against the Steelers. We know the Steelers well. We've never come near them before. I think today we're going to come near them. And if we come near them, anything can happen.
And Phil Craven should know there isn't a more experienced player in the game. Former Great Britain international with 170 caps and an inspirational figure on court. For the Steelers, perhaps the most talented player in Britain today, Colin Price, playmaker, devastating ball handler with deadly accuracy when shooting. A great match in prospect. Your commentators are Simon Reed and Jerry Kinsella.
Steelers, the reigning champions, the league champions in red. And straight away on offence, Price to Cheney. Oh yes, Cheney, the star of the Big 8 last year, already making his impression in 1992. Here's Phil Craven, whose wealth of experience is the inspiration behind the Celtics. Alongside me, Jerry Kinsella, coached the Greenbank Meteors, who we're going to see later on. Good basket there from Russ Sims. But Jerry, a former Great Britain international, and you've coached a few of these guys.
Indeed, Philip Craven and Mark Cheney, and indeed Colin Price. Two excellent. Oh, look at that, look at that.
There's a foul there. Foul called on Russ Sims, on Mark Cheney.
Yeah, definitely chair contact. Good block though, good fingers, but definitely a foul.
5 fouls and you're off, just as in the running game. Very many similarities.
Yeah, and I know about these 5 fouls, as any referee will tell you. Good basket, Mark.
Yes, that was good. Mark Cheney, who's broken his hand a few months ago, and there were doubts as to how effective he would be this year, but already he's answered those.
Looks like Phillips decided to try and keep Mark out the game, hopefully to tire him out to get some of those shots out the way.
Craven looking for help, none there, so he goes on his own.
That's right, he looked to pass, and typical of Philip, made a drive right down the middle. Quite deadly under that basket is Phil Craven.
So here comes Price. What can he do about this? Looking around. Almost peripheral vision, and finds Gordon. Good defense. And pretty heavy contact there. When does the maneuverability become illegal?
When you make contact like that. It's supposed to be a non-contact sport, but you'll find a fair amount of wheelchair contact, but the referee will judge if a player is losing control.
Sims. Terry Clark out there with him. And Price Out to Madison.
It looks like they're going to chase Oldham. Nice ball from Philip. Excellent.
That really was a good basket. The basket the same height as in the running game, and from a sitting position, this was a terrific basket here.
And good use of the backboards. But very good pass from Philip. It's very difficult to get a high pass ball over some of those large players from Steelers.
Steelers working it around. Very much a team. Individual skills, but they work very hard at teamwork.
They do. They make the ball move.
And that's a result of hours and hours of practice.
It is, and they know their plays. As individuals, they know their positions very well. Now that is typical of Colin Price. As soon as that ball left his hand, he just knew that had missed, and there he is getting that rebound.
Many regard him as the finest player in the wheelchair game at the moment, Colin Price, so watch out for him as the match progresses. So, tied up at the moment. And Russ Sims again puts Telford in front.
Good close game. I'm quite surprised. A good use of the tall player out screening from the outside shot there.
Here's Bramley. Into Price. Into Cheney. Not that time.
Oh, pity. But once again, you see, as soon as Colin gets the ball, out comes the defence. It's a bit of a magnet, that. And there's Mark Cheney sitting in there, knows his position well, doesn't often miss from shots from that position.
Craven, very much the boss.
I wouldn't mind to be employed by that young man.
Scott Webster. To Masterson. Not that time.
Yeah.
Gordon with it. And on to the fast break.
Oh, unfortunate. Typical play. Quick rebound, and as soon as that ball's left to the offensive hand, then Collins on that fast break. I'd expect to see a fair amount of that from Steelers today.
Here comes Russ Sims to Craven. Not the best pass.
That's a medical pass, and here we go. Fast break, no doubt.
Oh, two of the top players in the country. Sims and Price, and a foul once more called against Russ Sims.
Deliberately cut across Collins' path there. You can't make contact with the offensive player like that.
So here's Price.
Bad defence. You just can't afford to allow Colin Price to take 3 shots like that. You've got to get out there and you've got to make contact with him. That's the difference between Steelers. Look, they're chasing everything here.
Sims again. Looking for Sims moving around. Masterson. Here he is. Out goes Bramley. Good touch from Bramley. Masterson.
Telford are playing exceptionally well.
Sims. And he gets it.
Good basket. Good basket. Yeah, they're passing that ball around pretty well. I'm quite impressed.
I don't think the Steelers would be too impressed. They didn't underestimate them, but they're playing as well as they possibly can, the Celtics, and a foul once more.
The typical move there from Colin, right round the back, allowing the tall players to go in, and quick feed from Mark Cheney.
So here comes Callum Gordon to the free throw line. Sean Powie there, and here's Gordon, 28 years old.
Good shot.
Capped 40 times for Great Britain, and of course his height a terrific advantage, but a wonderful ball handler as well.
All-round ability, excellent rebounding skills, and as we've just seen, pretty good shooting skills too.
The skills and the rules very similar. A shot comes in there from Webster, very similar to the running game.
Very similar. We're allowed 5 seconds rather than 3 in the key, 2 pushes rather than 2 steps. I think the major difference perhaps is that you don't see many dunk shots in wheelchair basketball.
No, I'm sure about that. So here's Price. Clark.
Oh, once again you can see the tall players of Steelers going into that key and sucking the defence in and giving free, unhindered outside shooting.
A number of threats for Steelers now. Gordon, Price, Cheney.
Now that's cheeky. Most people would be left for dead if they did that, and Colin Price will get away from it.
So here's Gordon. Good change of pace, slowing it down. Out it goes to Price. And Gordon is in there for the rebound and gets it on second effort. Good work there from Callum Gordon. It's 15-10 to Steelers. 4 minutes to go. And the Steelers on top now, 21 points to 12. Clark. Here's Price. Masterson with him. In it goes to Brownlee this time.
There we go again. Penetration from the tall players and good quick feet. Oh, what's happened there? That looked nasty.
Yes. A finger injury there. It's Paul Jackson, and he looks in agony.
Oh, ow.
Still picked it up. Good instinctive player.
Oh, but I think he's done a bit of trouble to his fingers there.
He goes off for some repairs. It happens, though, doesn't it? The fingers are in danger in the wheelchair game.
Yes, we've just seen a nasty incident, but not too bad.
So Craven. 2 minutes to go. The lead 13. Good defence.
Well, you've got 3 on 2. There should be some. No, didn't take advantage of that play there.
Here's Sims. A chance for us to find out how Paul Jackson's doing on the bench.
What happened?
I got one pushed me that way and a caster went, well, I can't say deliberately across, it went across 2 fingers and both fingers went round to the right. Snap, crack, crack. I definitely heard him go crack, crack.
You're remarkably cheerful.
Oh, I haven't got the pain yet. I'm still hyped up, hoping to get back on. Save the team, you see.
What a competitor. Hasn't felt the pain yet.
Well, I hope he comes back on, because he's really going to be needed by Celtic if they're to stay in and live with Steelers.
Well, here's a man determined they won't. Colin Price. Look at that wonderful manoeuvrability of his chair. Gets the basket in. Here on a fast break. Misses that time. Cheney.
Oof, that's unlike Mark.
Bramley. And Price taking up a very good position.
Poor defence there. They've unmarked. They can't afford to leave Colin Price sitting in the key like that.
Price once more. A long shot this time, and again it goes in, and he's having a very good end to the half. So there's the half-time buzzer, and the Steelers really asserting their dominance at the end of it. There's the position then, 31 points to 12. Worrying times for the Celtics. Particularly worrying because they can't stop this man, certainly at the end of the half, Colin Price. And there are his statistics. He took 18 shots, 4 more than the rest of the team put together, and he scored from 7 of them. Quite a low scoring rate for him, 38%, but he's the top scorer of the match so far. Can he keep it up? Join us in part 2.
Welcome back to the Big 8. The score is Sheffield Steelers 31, Telford Celtics 12. So Telford have some catching up to do. You'll notice that both teams so far are all men, but women do play wheelchair basketball, not only here at home in the UK, but also in the international sports arena, where our best women players represent Great Britain.
It's a great sport. It's a chance to show skill. We like the drive, the smile when we score, especially when we're playing against men, because they don't like to lose, we don't like to lose, so it's a real good battle from word go. Best man wins, usually the women.
The Great Britain women play as a team in the 3rd division of the Wheelchair Basketball League. That's because there just aren't enough women for them to form a division of their own.
We're poor on the numbers, but we're not so poor on the support
What
this
about
year.
the standard of the sport?
I would say if we was doing it on 1 to 10, we're still at 3 or 4. We're still a long way to go. For our guts and our determination, I would say 9.5.
What sort of sport is wheelchair basketball for women?
Tough one. No wimps. No nail varnish. Don't worry about breaking nails.
The GB women just failed to make the Paralympics, but Karen is confident international honours will follow.
We've surprised a few teams in the past. The biggest surprise was we beat USA down at the internationals as an invitation tournament. We went out and we lost by 3 points to Israel, which time before that was 32 points. So now they don't back off us and say this is the Great Britain weak team. They say, gosh, we better watch these.
For all the team, it's an honour in itself to wear the Great Britain colours.
It's just a great feeling here, you know, it's it's a team thing, and it's great to be working for your country, with your friends, you know, it's really good.
Let's rejoin the action of our first match in the Big 8 tournament. Your commentators are Simon Reed and Jerry Kinsella.
Well, Celtics, first off, have got to get more shots on. They only had 10 shots at the basket in the first half, scored from 6 of them. They actually went for 8 minutes without scoring. They've got to get something going here. Here's Craven.
That's Philip's favourite shot. It's very difficult to get at. He just leans away from the player, and he's pretty deadly with that one.
Phil Craven, Commonwealth gold medalist, former Great Britain captain, 42 years old now. He won't thank me for saying that. Chairman of the Wheelchair Basketball Association. And just his sheer willpower, I think, got it in.
Bit nonchalant about that one, Philip. That's more like it.
So that's the start they wanted. And they reduced the arrears to 17. But they've got to keep this momentum going at the start of the second half. Right, here's Price. Gordon breaking through. Sims out to meet him. And a foul called against Sims there. And that means he's off. He was on 4 before. Another look at it. Didn't see much contact there.
Well, I think that's a bit harsh. I mean, it is a foul. There is some contact. Had he just put his brakes on a fracking second sooner, that would have been a charging foul against Colin. I think that's a bit tight, that one.
Well, it's very important indeed. Russ Sims, such a crucial part of the game. So 5 minutes gone in the second half. 10 minutes to go. And still, the Celtics try and break the Steelers down, but it's very tough indeed. Jackson back on despite his broken fingers. And gets the basket right in the thick of the action, Paul Jackson.
That was good from Paul, because he went up and took the pick and then went straight into the key. Hope his fingers last out, though.
Clark. Yes, good basket from Clark, and so they're scoring from all over the place at the moment. 42-18. And what's gone wrong for the Celtics?
What went wrong? We started really great, good defence, and then they put a little bit of pressure on, and we didn't give the first time ball. We gave the second available ball, and they were on us. And it's because our players, we've won the second division this season, but they're not used to playing such a big mobile team, and it's great experience for us. And now we're trying to get a bit of credibility back in the remainder of the half.
6 minutes to go, and the result more or less academic now. The Celtics playing for a bit of pride here. Craven trying to instill some kind of discipline here, but once again Price makes it pay.
Just look at the control here, right? Good drive, sees the defence sagging in, dummies the pass, and just wonderful ball handling skills.
So the lead now 30. Craven. Masterson. Greg Eden. Craven again. And foul called. Terry Clark, but the Celtics playing pretty well at the moment. Heads up.
Indeed, trying to keep to their game.
And that's Greg Eden. Terrific effort there from Greg Eden, who is, after all, a one-point player. And we should explain the points classification. The idea to give everyone a chance to compete. Player is classified according to his ability to balance and manoeuvre the chair. So Eden's a one-pointer because, as we saw earlier, he hasn't got very good sitting balance. Scott Webster sits much taller in the chair and has good sitting balance. He's a 4-point player. Now, the coach has to add up the points of the team before they go on court. The maximum allowed is 13.5. So he has to juggle with the numbers all the time whenever he makes a substitution to give him the best possible lineup. So the Steelers now take off 4-pointer Phil Hogg and 1-pointer Mark Cheney, and they bring on Callum Gordon there, the 4-pointer, and John Harper, the 1-pointer. So Hudson still with 13.5 points on court. And Price again. And the lead back to 30. It's an awesome task for the Celtics, but Craven
You see, they're really putting this ball under pressure, which is making it very difficult for the Celtic team to settle down on their offence now. In fact, their offence has gone to pot somewhat.
Masterson. Rebound from Bramley, and again the fast break. And this time he finds Colin Price. Oh yes, good move.
As I said earlier, that's a deadly offence from the Steelers. The tall players getting the ball. As soon as the ball's gone out, up from the outside. Now this is an interesting one. Callum there is actually saying he was stationary. He wasn't. It was a bit of movement, so therefore it's classed as a charging foul against Callum.
Any movement from the defensive player, and that's a foul against him.
That's correct. That's right. You've got to give free passage for any moving wheelchair. I agree with the referee, and they'll be glad to hear me say that for once.
They certainly will. Callum accepts it well. Here's Madison. Moving through, Price alongside him. Good ball in. There's Powie, and he has great hands there.
That was a very good pass from Phillip. Very difficult, as I said earlier, to get balls over tall players. So a bouncing pass into the key is often the best way of doing it.
Powie, who joined them in January, had no previous experience, and according to Phil Craven, has great possibilities ahead of him.
I'd concur with that.
Price. Through to Gordon. Wonderful hands again. It's such a devastating combination, Price and Gordon.
And disheartening, isn't it, to have such a tall player sitting in the key.
Webster. Craven. Bit of space here. Yes. Good basket by Phil Craven. So 54-24. And Steelers are going to take a timeout, a 30-point cushion. And here's their coach, Paul Hudson.
We've got 3 minutes left. You've got 5 fouls left, haven't you? Yeah. So you can just use them. Don't let them get in. All right? Come on. They won't call the fouls on you because you're pretty and little. All right.
Well, they won't appreciate that. Now we got 3 minutes to go then. And Steelers very much in the ascendancy. Price putting the pressure on now. Price again. And running down the clock.
Indeed. I think it's a respectable score for Celtic. I know they'd be disappointed with it, but I think the way Steelers are playing at the moment, that is a fair score so far.
Price moves up to 27 points, top scorer in the game. There's the final score. Steelers 56.
In today's Big 8, the newcomers to the tournament, Greenbank Meteors from Liverpool, take on 3 times First Division champions, the Oldham Owls. With me are the team captains, Vinnie Ross for the Owls and Jerry Kinsella for the Meteors. In real life, they tell me they're best of mates. But when it comes to the basketball court, sworn enemies. Why is that, Jerry?
Don't know, gone back many years. Always been that way ever since Vincent and I used to play at club level, international level. He's an aggressive animal on court. That's about the top and bottom, and I'm such a gentleman.
An aggressive animal, and he's a gentleman?
I'll go along with the animal. Yeah, it gets very competitive, and I suppose that because Oldham have been the #1 team in Great Britain for the last few years, and Merseyside have always been striving to get, knock us off our pedestal, if you like, and it's always caused a lot of friction between the two of us on court.
Right, so who's going to foul who off first then?
Well, I've no intention of going off court.
I bet he gets a technical before me.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Good luck to both of you. One thing that Jerry and Vinnie do agree on is a sports wheelchair they both use. That's because the Greenbank project where they work is the home to Chevron wheelchairs. And in today's programme, Vinnie takes us behind the scenes at the Chevron factory.
A basketball chair is a piece of sports equipment. It's not practical everyday transport anymore. Most people these days will only play basketball in the basketball chair.
As well as the captains, watch out for Dan Johnson, an international player with a tremendous turn of speed. Gary Peel, a tall forward who's lethal in attack and defence. And for the Greenbank Meteors, Mark Townley, a playmaker with a lot of potential. Your match commentators are Simon Reed and Phil Craven.
And as you can see, the Greenbank Meteors already stolen a 2-0 lead against the runners-up last year, the Oldham Owls. Here's Dan Johnson.
Feeds inside to Wayne Fisher, and a good 2 points.
Wayne is just 16 years old, joined in September, lives in the Manchester area, and a very fine prospect indeed. So 2 points apiece. And here's Mark Townley, who's been very impressive early on.
Very good ball handler, Mark. Feeding again to Jerry Kinsella. But this defence from Oldham is forcing them out. It's going to force the outside shot. They want that. They want to take the big rebound with Gary Peel and have the fast break play.
Townley again, getting very crowded under the basket. And that's a 30-second call. Greenbank unable to get the shot up in 30 seconds. That's a tribute to the Oldham defence.
It is, as I was saying, the defence, they're forcing them out. They can't get the shot off. And on that occasion, the ball just goes on the sideline to the Owls. Malcolm Tarkington inbounding the ball.
So here's Vinnie Ross, captain and coach, putting the shot in, brought down there by Chris Kelly. And away it comes with Townley once more.
Again, the Owls are letting the Meteors progress the ball up court, but when they get to within shooting range, that's when the defence comes on.
Townley. Nope, Peel with a rebound. And away it goes to Johnson very quickly off the mark. And enough time to put it in.
Simple 2 points for Dan Johnson. Again, the play that they're making. Shot from Mark Townley. Big rebound from Gary Peel. He sees Dan Johnson. They do this in training all the time. A simple line to basket and 2 good points.
So 4-2.
Gary Kinsella setting a screen, again giving that little bit of space. Wayne Fisher couldn't get out to Mark Townley, and 2 good points.
So a good start there for Townley. He's been with them 4 years. Joined them from Bolton, but here, a foul there. Dan Johnson making the move.
Good play from Wayne Fisher, trying to get a 2-on-1 situation, but Jerry Kinsella committed the foul.
Good ball in. Johnson topples over, but is able to get the ball to Peel to good effect.
Wonderful awareness there. He knew that Gary Peel was behind him and just flicked it over as he fell out of the chair.
So Townley. Again, considerable movement.
Better defence, though, from Wayne Fisher. Forced up the shot. He didn't have as much time to put the ball in the basket.
And Johnson in the clear once more. Same move. And again, he sees it so early.
There we see the forced shot. Gary Peel with a big rebound, and Dan Johnson, his brain ticking a little bit faster than the Meteors players. And then we see the quickness of his hands. 2 good points.
So, Meteors again. Ross puts it up and tries to defend.
And then we frequently see that in wheelchair basketball, a rush shot, a missed shot, frustration, and the foul committed by George Ross.
So Kinsella back in the chair, no harm done. Remarkably few injuries in this sport.
Yes, you soon learn to take your hands out of the way. Your fingers can get hurt, but when the brain doesn't like pain.
Vinnie Ross. Oh yes, that's what they need. And the lead now extended to 6, and Ross will be happy with that.
Very happy. That's his trademark.
So despite the deficit, 4 minutes to go, Jerry Kinsella still looking positive.
Yeah, just committed a foul there on Dan Johnson. And he makes him pay for it. The first free shot for 1 point, a beautiful shot. Will he do it with the second?
Dan Johnson used to be captain of his university rugby club, 28 years old, a Great Britain international for the last 4 years. No problem. And real problems now for the Meteors.
Owls still letting them come up the court with the ball, and then they're slamming on this tough defence.
Townley. Looking around with the defence good. And a foul there against Colin Jones, number 6.
George Ross just getting a bit more space there, penetrating the keyway, and Colin Jones wasn't going to let him pass.
Townley.
Poor pass inside from Mark Townley there to Chris Kelly, easily intercepted by Vinnie Ross, and the Owls are away again.
Jones sends Tarkington away. Tarkington had such a good year in the Big 8 last season. And again, Here's Johnson.
Beautiful little move with Colin Jones, a pick and roll, 2-on-1, but misses the shot.
Ross Jones will be disappointed with that. Poor end to a good move.
Yeah, excellent move. I saw it coming from way back. Nice feed in from Dan Johnson, but he just failed with the shot.
Greenbank, of course, new into the First Division this year, one of 7 clubs in the First Division.
That's right. They were second in the Second Division last year and gained promotion. We're very keen to know that they'd be in the Big 8 this year.
Gary Peel, 32 years old, been with the club 16 years.
Very loyal servant to the Owls. Gary Peel at one time played on his own. He had 4 people who weren't very good players around him, and once they got 1 or 2 more players, that's when they started to be champions. Champions 3 years running in the late 80s.
Good movement around, and here's Mark Townley. Oh yes, wonderful little tricky move there into Jimmy Heggie. What a pity, but that was fancy stuff.
Yeah, fancy stuff. He likes that. That you can see he's a ball handler, natural ball player. Jim Heggie there picked up the ball beautifully. 1-point player though, just maybe losing his balance, not used to being in there.
Again. Yeah. Deep. Let's use the height. Okay.
Down the centre.
It's our ball.
Yeah.
Down the centre.
Let's do it for Larry.
Get out. Okay. Let's have it.
Come on.
Offense. 1, 2, 3. Offense! Let's get it. Go.
Yes, a highly motivated timeout from Jerry Kinsella. There's Neil Ross, new on, 19 years old, 2 Great Britain caps, and pretty formidable size too.
Yes, Neil, a 4-point player, single leg amputee. They'll be hoping he'll make a difference inside. They need more penetration on attack, the Meteors.
Kinsella. And a real battle there between Heggie and Ross.
Yeah, there we saw Jim Heggie, again 1-point player, just losing his balance. Not a brilliant pass from Jerry Kinsella.
Vinnie Ross looking composed. Tarkenter feeds Johnson. Up goes the shot, and into. And this a bad patch for the Meteors. 12 points the lead.
There we see Dan Johnson. He can do it from outside as well as inside. Beautiful shooting action.
So what can Kinsella get happening now? Gary Peel goes out. Over to Kelly. Kinsella.
All a little bit of a mess here for the Meteors. They've just not got any format to their attack.
And a foul there, was it, against Johnson?
And again, as usual, Jerry Kinsella, he proves me wrong, just gets a little bit of space, puts the shot away, and Dan Johnson fouls him in the act of shooting. There, little touch with the foot plates, but Jerry Kinsella rides the foul and puts the ball away.
So here's Jerry Kinsella. 3 Commonwealth Games. He's been at 3 World Championships, 3 Olympics. Wonderful record.
Not a bad player when he was younger. He's still not bad now.
He speaks well of you.
So I believe.
Here's Johnson. In it goes to Peel, but Ross, his big frame, gets to it. Away come the Meteors again. Here's Kinsella.
Nice drive there, feeds inside. Chris Kelly just misses the first, but he's got the rebound and puts it away.
2 more, and the lead down to 7.
So the Meteors can make something of this before the half-time.
Ross.
Another big rebound for Chris Kelly.
Having an influential first half, Chris Kelly.
Yeah, Chris Kelly, a double-leg amputee, 3-point player, but he can take the balls when they're coming straight down at him. He has trouble in leaning forward.
A few choice words there from Jerry Kinsella as he took a tumble.
Yeah, Jerry driving around with the ball, and Malcolm Tarkenter wouldn't let him pass, forced him out of the chair. Again, Dan Johnson's very quick hands, whips the ball away from Kinsella, but it'll be a Meteors ball on the side.
But you can see the Meteors just don't fall away intensity here, and that's the man responsible.
That's right, he always hangs on in there, does Jerry. Always did when I was playing with him for Great Britain, even 20 years ago.
Vinnie Ross. Gary Peel. Good basket from Peel.
Here we see, we thought that the matchup would be Vinnie Ross and Jerry Kinsella, but Jerry goes where the action is, and the danger men are Peel and Johnson, and that's what Jerry's been doing in this first half.
And there is the half-time buzzer. Owls lead by 9, but Greenbank still competitive.
Welcome back to the Big 8. The score is Oldham Owls 20, Greenbank Meteors 11. Vinnie Ross and Jerry Kinsella playing a very physical game so far, but away from the basketball court, the two captains combined their energies and experience to produce the Mean Machine, otherwise known as the Chevron Sports Wheelchair.
A basketball chair is a piece of sports equipment. It's not practical everyday transport anymore. In fact, a basketball chair is a pretty uncomfortable thing to sit in if you've got to sit in it all day. Most people these days will only play basketball in their basketball chair and will have another chair for everyday use. They're usually made out of an aluminium alloy to keep them lightweight and strong, and they're usually altered about in various ways to make them go quicker in a straight line and make them more manoeuvrable. The tyres that we use are specifically designed for basketball, for indoor use in particular. They've got virtually no tread on them at all. It's a bit like a slick on a racing car. The chairs are given a camber angle. It makes the base of the chair wider, the top of it narrower, which makes it into a triangle. It makes it much more stable when you spin. What seems to have affected chair design considerably these days are sort of mountain bikes have all come out in day-glow colours with lots of clothing accessories and, you know, padded bits to go on various parts of the bike. Well, they seem to have followed up, you know, across into chairs now. Basketball chairs these days tend to cost in the region of £1,000 upwards. You can get slightly cheaper chairs. You can get chairs from America that cost in excess of £2,000 now. But an expensive basketball chair doesn't mean that you're going to play any better. One that's well set up and well designed for you is actually what makes all the difference.
Let's rejoin the action. Your commentators are Simon Reed and Phil Craven.
And a fast break for the Owls. Wardle through to Colin Jones, who finishes it off, and the lead up to 11.
There we see the same defence from the Owls, gives them the fast break. They've not changed things in the start of this second half.
Townley. Oh, yes, behind the back. And up it goes from Francis Roberts, and finished off by Kelly.
We saw a beautiful move here. Behind the back, Jerry drives and then puts the bounce pass into Francis Roberts, well positioned for the shot, and takes it.
So here comes Gary Peel. Francis Roberts on defence. Ross. Not much on here, but a good move in to Peel, and the same result.
We've seen some classic basketball from both teams. Beautiful pick and roll from Gary Peel there and Dan Johnson.
Again, the fast break. Kinsella.
And Howard Wardle commits the foul on Jerry as he was driving for basket. Should have taken the shot, though. It would have given him 2 free shots, but as it is, it's a sideline ball.
Howard Wardle, one of the new substitutes, been with the club 6 years. Good hands there from Kelly. Townley. Kelly again, not quite so good that time.
Another pick and roll, but the pass too far in front, and Chris Kelly just lost his balance being a three-point player.
Ross looks very relaxed. Johnson. Townley to him, but good evasive action. And a lovely move back there to Peel. Fine move.
They never do one of these moves, these two. They always do 2, and this is just a replica of the first one. Gary Peel sets the screen on Mark Townley. Dan Johnson drives round, feeds the ball over to Gary Peel, who puts a simple shot in off the glass.
So, 26-13.
Now we see we've changed the defence here. The Owls are pushing up. They've got 2 men pushing up, 3 men pushing up on the Meteors.
Vinnie Ross moving in, but good awareness there. And the shot in from Kelly. So the Meteors still very competitive. They won't lie down here in the second half. And the Owls have still got some work to do.
Again, this combination. Peel setting a screen. Fed inside yet again. And it's 2 more points.
He really is a great player, Dan Johnson, but he's not going to Barcelona.
He decided some months ago to pull out of the squad for personal reasons, but I'm sure he's regretting it now.
So George Ross. Very near. Good defending there from Gary Peel.
Again, he pulls them all down off the defensive boards, does Gary.
Johnson once more. And for once he misses. Ross with the rebound. And away comes Kelly.
Nice feed inside there, and 2 great points. Beautiful passing movement there from the Meteors.
Mark Townley finishing it off, and still the lead 11. Again the fast break, Johnson. And eventually it finds its way through from Wardle.
The first time there we saw a rush shot from Gary Peel. Probably a little bit of a foul from Jerry Kinsella, but wasn't picked up.
End-to-end stuff. Very fast-moving game. Ross. Again, behind the back to Kinsella.
Just helping the referee with his decision, but he'd seen it. He was fouled.
And Jerry Kinsella, with all his experience, the referees take notice.
They do, yeah, they do. They accept now, Jerry. At one time he might get a technical if he opened his mouth too much, but now they know he doesn't mean anything by it. And he can still stick the ball away.
16 international caps, might have been so many more, but he took a break for 8 years right in the height of his career.
Oh yeah, that's a long story, that one. It'd take me half an hour to explain that one, but he was a great player.
7 minutes to go. The lead up to 12. Peel. And again, Kinsella very competitive indeed, and Johnson takes a tumble.
He might not be knocking hell out of Vinnie Ross, but Dan Johnson, he's the threat, Dan Johnson, and Jerry's on him, but a little bit late there. But Dan Johnson is quick mind. He took the shot. As he was falling, took the shot. But the referee didn't give 2 shots. That amazes me.
Johnson. Yes. Very rarely misses. The lead now up to 14.
Dan Johnson, he's got to be in the GB team again soon. Great skills.
And look at Vinnie Ross, he's not satisfied with the lead, he still wants more from his team.
Vinnie Ross saying on them, they're now putting a full court press on the Meteors, thinking they're a little bit tired now, just turning that screw.
Wardle, Johnson, making him work hard and getting his reward. Very good hands from Johnson. Terrific play there, and Wardle sent free, but the credit there to Dan Johnson.
Yeah, very fast hands, and that comes from a fast mind.
So, dispiriting times for the Meteors.
They'll fight through it, though. They're not going to give up.
Townley. Yes. Good pass in from Kinsella. Well finished off by Townley.
Dan Johnson comes back, sets a screen on Mark Townley this time. Gary Peel inside. Can't get the shot off, passes it back. Johnson misses this time.
And again, Peel in position.
So
how often does that happen?
Well, how often does it not happen? It's happening all the time, these two playing together.
So 39-23. Kinsella still trying to keep his team alert.
Francis Roberts, great basket from Francis Roberts, a player that's come up the development team at the Meteors, the Meteorites team. He'll be pleased with that basket.
Just 18 years old, a student in Liverpool. Townley moves back quickly. Again, the fast break on. Johnson looks up, and once more it goes in.
Reverse spin shot this time. He's shown it all in this match, is Dan Johnson.
Townley.
Little bit of telegraph, that pass. Gary Peel, too big for straight passes like that.
But staying competitive. 3.5 minutes to go. Doing all they can. There's no chance of a win at the moment, but their pride's still great. Johnson again showing what good hands he's got.
Yeah.
Amazingly quick. Kinsella. Johnson out to meet him.
Jerry knows he's got to put the ball away now. They need some quick points.
And up it goes, and a three-pointer there for Jerry Kinsella. Had have another look at it.
Just coming to the three-point line and releases the ball maybe just before he crosses it with his back wheel. It's 3 points.
So I'm afraid Jerry Kinsella is staring defeat in the face now, but he's kept his team right on the Owls until the finish. Kinsella again. Not quite that time. Just under 2.5 minutes to go.
Vinnie Ross, one of the first times we've seen the two old friends together there, and Vinnie just nips the ball away from Jerry.
Some rather desperate shots going in now from the Meteors, and again the fast break. Once more it's Johnson with time to spare, and a lovely little reverse. 2 more for Dan Johnson, and the crowd appreciating some very fine basketball. There's the final.
In today's Big 8, the most improved team in the league, the Milton Keynes Aces, launched their challenge for the Big 8 trophy.
I think we must be, you know, realistically second favourites. We've come close to Steelers a couple of times this season already. Yeah, we do fancy our chances, if I'm honest, yeah.
Their first opponents are no pushovers, though. They're Capital City Jazz. But we begin with a north-south clash. The west of Scotland face the LGS Jets from Aylesbury. They're close to each other in the league and know each other's games well.
Well, we're trying to have a few changes today to see if it makes a bit of difference. Trying a few new tactics.
So what will those tactics be?
More movement off the ball and more driving down the court with the ball. Hopefully that'll be the main factors in the game.
They tend to be a very, what we call an adrenaline-based team. If you let them get going, they can keep with you. If you can destroy them early, they won't.
Your commentators are Simon Reed and Phil Craven.
2 minutes into the second half, and the west of Scotland in yellow struggling here. And basically, the Jets have done just what Ian Laycock wanted. They've got off to an early lead.
Good defence there. Rush shot, and it gives the fast break to the Jets.
Shot in from Pimblett, James McLeod, and Bonner sends Davidson away.
Beautiful feed from Kenny Mackay off balance, and 2 good points for Jimmy McCluskey.
Yes, all credit to him. Lost his balance, but still able to get the shot away.
Yeah, concentrated on the shot, knew he was going over, but he concentrated on putting that ball away.
So west of Scotland staying competitive in this second half. The lead's still 6.
Pressure defence again. Gary Davidson with Steve Brown. Stuart Pimblett on the ball.
Pimblett in. Bonner reaches in. Laker with the shot and gets it. Laker, who was such a strong influence in last year's Big 8. But here's Bonner, anxious to keep west of Scotland in this match. Had a pretty reasonable start to the second half.
Gary Davidson in his favourite position, and there we see the shot off the backboard and into the ring. He could be a major influence on the outcome of this game, Gary Davidson.
Brown again. Pimblett, and in it goes.
There's a lovely sweet shot from Stuart Pimblett. Just creating that space, shooting over James McLeod. Never touches the ring. Beautiful shot.
So 8 points the margin once more. Jimmy McLeod.
Gary Davidson again in his favourite position. Misses this time, but gets the rebound and puts it away.
And that puts Davidson up to 9 points. Didn't have his shooting form in the first half, but certainly a threat now in the second. Pimblett. Well done. So Pimblett very much a threat for the Jets, countering Davidson for west of Scotland.
He rode this foul from Jimmy McLeod and put the ball up. Beautiful spin shot.
So 10 minutes to go in the match. 25-17. Davidson. And that brings it down to 6 again.
Gary Davidson can't miss from that left side. The Jets have got to put more pressure on him.
So Davidson up to 11 points.
There's an off-the-ball foul in the backcourt. Ball on the side to the Jets.
New player on. Paul Doody for west of Scotland.
Paul Doody will be trying to put a bit more muscle in the defence, trying to put the Jets off the ball.
Chris Rolt, up it goes. So 2 for Chris Rolt in his second spell with the Jets after rejoining them in 1989 from the Oldham Owls.
Telegraph pass there from Kenny Mackay, but Gary Davidson picks up the rebound. Misses the shot, but Peter Moore again gains the ball. The West putting pressure. Oh, but what a pass. He should have made a better job of that.
So timeout called by West of Scotland, trailing 27-19. Let's hear their coach, Dennis Bonner.
Work it round, Peter.
I'm the ball right hand side.
Watch for Jimmy rolling in.
Okay, right.
Jimmy will come down.
And I come up.
And he'll come up.
Who's that man?
Aye. And you're that man down there. Let's see if you can pick and roll a day, a one-on-one.
Well, let's get a defence sorted out. Let's talk a bit more. Everybody has to talk. Get back quicker.
The ball. Right, let's go. Let's go.
Dennis Bonner telling them to get back quicker, but still his team very competitive in this second half. A much more even match now.
Chris Rolt passes to Ray Cross, looking for the pick and roll, but it's not on. A poor pass to Stuart Pimblett. Now we have a held ball situation, and the ball will be on the side to the team who are playing in the direction of that arrow. We have alternate possession in wheelchair basketball.
So here's Peter Moore. Kenny Mackay. And a foul there on Stephen Brown as Peter Moore went through.
Just reaching in, Stephen Brown. Knew Peter Moore was in a dangerous position.
Peter Moore having a lot of the ball at the moment. And feeds it off here to Gary Davidson. 2 more for Davidson, and the lead down to 6.
They're still putting this pressure defence on. There's Paul Doody with Ray Cross, keeping Ray Cross out of the game at the moment. He's a very influential player, Ray Cross.
And here makes his move, and a foul there.
Paul Doody just reaching in there, committing the foul, but he's been given his orders. Keep Ray Cross out of that attacking keyway.
Ray Cross, Great Britain captain until a couple of years ago, 39 years old now. 250 international appearances, that's why Doody has got an important role. And another foul against Doody there as Brown breaks through.
Putting himself about a bit, Paul Doody now. He doesn't watch out, he'll be off court in the next 2 minutes.
Yes, just as in the running game, 5 fouls and you're off here. Brown to Rolt.
Lovely lean away shot. Beautiful action there from Chris Rolt.
And that puts him up to 10. Had a quiet time at the start of the second half. A better first half, and now on his way in the second.
Classical action.
So the lead up to 8. Here's Moore. He loves that behind the back pass, but it's a poor one there. Laker.
Again, an off-the-ball foul committed by the West. This is what they're going to do. They're putting this pressure on, and they're going to pick up the odd foul, but they've got to keep with it. They've got to keep the pressure on the Jets.
Yes, the Jets, the number 4 seeds. West of Scotland seeded 5 here. Ian Laker. Chris Rolt. Here's Cross.
Classic pick and roll there from the two of them. The two players have been playing together for years, and they know, Chris Rolt knows where Ray Cross is, and he just puts a simple shot up off the backboard.
So 10 points, and they've got to get going again, West of Scotland. Here's Kenny Mackay. Moore. Paying Davidson very close attention.
They know Gary Davidson's got to get free, and here we are. Up he goes, 2 points again for Gary Davidson.
Davidson reduces it to 8. 4 minutes to go. 33-25. So they've stayed in it. Here's Davidson.
Puts the first free shot away, and he's got a second. Can pull this lead back to 6 points.
Current Great Britain international, 27 years old. And up to 18 points now. And it's staying competitive. They cannot get away.
Pressure on again. Gary Davidson picking up Ian Laker.
Here's Rolt.
Nice check on the ball there by Kenny Mackay.
And no foul.
No foul. Clean. Pretty clean anyway.
Laker. And again. Chris Rolt. Pimblett.
Just got that extra speed there, Stuart Pimblett, to get away from Gary Davidson.
And every time the West of Scotland edge closer, they're able to get the basket to keep the lead. 8 points the lead now. Up comes Davidson again. 2 more for Davidson. He's up to 20. And a good passing move.
Beautiful move. Kenny Mackay so frequently in that position, just feeds it off. Gary Davidson leans away. 4-point player, plenty of muscle power.
So still the lead 6. Roach. Gardner.
There we see a 5-second call from referee Gus Taylor. Stuart Pimblett just too long in that attacking keyway.
Good defending again from West of Scotland, and the basket here could make it very interesting. Mackay. Moore. Davidson. Laker going to him.
He's got that space again, and he puts it straight in this time, doesn't use the backboard.
So Davidson up to 24 points, the lead down to 4. So into the last 2 minutes of the match, and West of Scotland committing a string of fouls here, and then I'm afraid to be their downfall. First, Chris Rolt putting those 2 away, and shortly afterwards, Stuart Pimblett to the line. Buries the first to take the lead up to 7. And that really was to put it out of reach. So the lead 7. Just seconds to go. A game effort from West of Scotland, but not quite good enough.
There we see Gary Davidson, who played brilliantly in that second half, but still on the losing side.
And so it's the LGS Jazz. And it's a very worried Jazz who compete in today's match. There have been many changes in the team since the last Big 8 tournament. Perhaps the biggest shock for the First Division side from London was when their star player Steve Keynes left and moved north to join 3rd Division Bradford Bears.
The reason I went to Bradford was because I feel if people, if the top players were to stay with all the big clubs, then basketball isn't going to progress the way it should be progressing. And I believe that Bradford have got the potential to become the best team in the country.
Frank, you're the chairman of the club. How did you persuade Steve Keynes to come and join you?
Well, Steve's always been associated with the team since we started. He's always been associated in terms of coaching us and trying to bring us on. But when we heard he was coming back from America, we were desperate to get him. We met up with him in Stoke Mandeville. Myself and the coach had a word with him, and basically we made an offer he couldn't refuse.
His interest in basketball and his love of the game generates through to the team, and it inspires them to play better. And I think before they've just sort of played ball, and now we're actually playing basketball with Steve behind us.
He's obviously one of the best in the country, and I'm glad he's joined us. He's going to teach me a lot on the team, so it's good.
Certainly has brought a lot of discipline into the game, though at times his adrenaline flows on, his emotion on court. If he's in a good mood, then he's not playing too well. If he's playing aggressive, then he's playing good basketball, and it's Steve Keynes that we all know and love then.
This team is a team for the future, and we're training really hard, and First Division better watch out, that's all I can say.
On to our second match today. It's Milton Keynes Aces versus Capital City Jazz. Look out for the 2 speed merchants, Joe Geratney for the Aces, who's a current GB international, and Mark Tong for Capital City Jazz. He's a wheelchair sprint record holder. Your commentators again, Simon Reed and Phil Craven.
The Aces in blue so much stronger this year. A very powerful force. Runners up in the league, and here's one of the reasons. Tony Woolard, who missed last year because he was ill.
Tony Woolard, a really important player for the Aces. Plays at forward, 6'7" tall when he stood up. And he gives far more freedom to the captain, Nigel Smith, of the Aces to play at point guard.
Well, here's Joe Jayaratne, who was with Capital City Jazz last year in the Big 8, transferred this year, and a very fast player indeed. Look how quickly he gets back.
The Aces, they've got height, they've got speed, they've got everything. Must be one of the favourites.
Tong finds Gordon Perry, and again Woolard, very good hands.
Just check the ball from Gordon Perry and puts Jayaratne away.
Woolard arriving late, and that's why, again, just too tall on his chair.
Yep, Tony Woolard took the defensive rebound and came through with a pick, assisted by Nigel Smith, and put the ball away at the other end.
Michael Bishop to Michael King here.
Mark Tong, fastest player in the country, looking to get an opening.
Is King. And the Jazz off the mark now, but still trail by 2. 3 minutes to go in the first half. The Aces are pulled away. It's 17-8.
Martin McElhatton on the ball, driving all the way around. He sees the opening for Nigel Smith. 2 good points.
There's 2 there for the Great Britain captain, 29 years old, 150 international caps.
They seem to get far more international caps these days than when I was playing. I only got 170 in 20 years.
You old players, so biased.
Not at all.
So a lot of movement there. Out to Tong. Yes.
Just got that bit more space there, Mark Tong. He's got a lovely set shot.
So he's up to 8. And here's Smith.
Number 12, Ian Beaumont on for the Aces now, along with Charles Blomfield, 10. Martin McElhatton driving around with the ball. Feeds into Tony Woolard, but he gets checked.
It's good play, and here's Mark Tong on the break. Smith tries to go with him, but he's past him and gets the basket. Very good composure, but remarkable speed.
Blistering speed. Nigel Smith isn't slow, but he was just left for dead there.
And Smith here trying to make amends.
Charles Blomfield gets checked. Smith again.
Woolard, long arms, and Perry can do nothing about it.
Well, they're not turning it into points at the moment, but they're getting the rebound. They can start again.
Smith has a quick look up and rounds Michael King and gets it in, hung for a long time.
Yeah, space created there by Ian Beaumont, but it didn't become a pick and roll, just an easy shot.
So 21-12 as we start the second half. And Capital City Jazz not out of it.
If they're going to do anything, it's got to be down to Mark Tong. He's their main player.
10 of their 12 points in the first half. Perry, for once, has a bit of space. And his first basket.
Gordon Perry, normally one of the tallest guys on court, but when he's playing the Aces, he's only small.
Joe Jayaratne, Mark Tong, who once left behind. Oh, what a lovely feed there to Smith.
Beautiful feed, and what a basket from Nigel Smith, off balance. They'd done a pick and roll, created the 2-on-1. Nigel Smith goes inside and puts the ball in off the backboard.
So the lead up to 9. Tong.
Takes a shot. I thought he was fouled there, but the ref didn't blow it.
Again, Woolard with a rebound. Smith makes the breakaway. King trying to move in, but Woolard puts the shot up.
Nigel Smith knew where Tony Woolard was then, just needed to flick it back, and in it went.
So the Aces well on top here. Anne Wild, number 14, making her move back to cover. She's the only lady in the tournament we've seen so far.
There we've got a forced shot from Michael Bishop, under pressure. Nigel Smith gets the rebound, looking for the fast break, but it's not on.
Smith. Into Woolard, and no one covering him.
Yeah, got free there, Tony Woolard. Poor cover by the Jazz.
So 27-14. And they're moving further and further away, and Woolard making his presence felt. There's Shafiq Nazar from Israel, his first year as coach of the Aces, and he's done pretty well.
He's made a great change to them. Nigel Smith can now concentrate on playing. Shafiq Nazar, very good coach. Again, Nigel Smith. Bit of an aimless ball there, but look at the control from Jairatne. In it goes to Simon Munn. 2 more for him, he's up to 7. And there we see Antonio Mabunga, the coach for the Jazz. They've got a non-playing coach as well as the Aces this year. Makes a big difference to a team. (29-16). And a chance for us now to appreciate the skills of Nigel Smith, the Great Britain captain, of course, an important part of Great Britain's effort in Barcelona. Yeah, we've seen Nigel put an outside shot in there. Now he's driving round for another behind a double screen, beautifully into the centre of the ring. Great technique, wonderful tactical awareness as well. He's really come of age this year, Nigel. Now he's playing at point guard, controlling the players, we can see here. Looking for the opening, wanting to pass inside, but if it's not on, he'll drive himself and take the shot. Qualified for the Paralympic swimming final in 1988, so an all-round sportsman, but this is what he loves best. Oh, he loves this game. He's a real team man, Nigel. No time for the complete individual. You must be a team member in his team. And there, the ball almost hanging at the end of his fingertips. He knew he'd get the opening if he hung on to the ball just for an extra second. 2 minutes to go. And the Jazz, I'm afraid, out of it now. Mark Tong. Oh, yes. Showboating basket there, but the lead's still 13. Yeah, Mark Tong needs some support in this team. Can't do it all on his own. Terrific speed there. Jairatne and Tong head-to-head. Just called for a foul. His chair just made contact with Joe's chair there. So Jairatne, how pleased he must be that he's made the move. And Woolard, big man. Normally you'd expect a big man to be inside, but he can put them in from outside as well. The lead up to 15, and into the last minute we go. Here's Perry. And Roy Carter. Fouled by Ian Beaumont there. There's Ian Beaumont. Roy Carter, a newcomer to the capital city Jazz. There he is. Lives in Leytonstone. Formerly with the LGS Jets, the Romford Rams and the Hackney Sparrows. Let's hope he'll stay a bit longer with the Jazz. Nice shooting action, just a bit weak the first shot. Far better that time. He'll be pleased with that. But the Aces, the number 2 seeds, have lived up to their billing, particularly in crucial stages. Beaumont. Let's see if they can make the break here. Antonio Mabunga hasn't given up yet. He's still giving instructions to his team. That the final basket and the final score there.
In today's Big 8, the current champions and number 1 team in the country, Sheffield Steelers, play the LGS Jets. This is what the teams are competing for, the Big 8 trophy. It was made especially for the tournament by British Steel Stainless here in Sheffield. But the question is, will the Steelers keep it here?
Well, we've been in this position quite a lot of times before. We know how to actually psych ourselves up for this game and get going. So I think the Jets are going to be more nervous than we are.
I'll be probably marking Colin Price, and I'll probably be driving on Colin Price from the top of it as well, trying to see if keep him from cheating on defence.
I'm confident. I don't know about the rest, but I am. I know that for sure.
Spreken heet om een foto. Come on, hey. Girls, let's go!
Also in today's Big 8, how Sheffield attracts the cream of Europe. Your commentators are Simon Reed and Phil Craven.
To the tip-off in the semi-final, the Steelers, the champions in white. And here comes their playmaker supreme, Colin Price. To Terry Clark. And in the first 10 seconds, they've opened up a 2-point lead.
They've got to tighten that defence up. That was so slack from the Jets. Mustn't give Terry Clark space like that.
Recross to Chris Rolt.
I've just got to make the same comment for the Steelers. You can't give outside shooters space like that early on, or else they'll bury you.
So here's Dave Bramley, bit of confrontation there, Cross and Price as they move back. No harm done. Bramley with the shot. Laker with the rebound. And here's Rolt taking the play up court. Just looking at what's on, not much. So he goes alone, and he's got the hot hand at the moment.
Just turns behind the screen, set up by Ray Cross, number 14, and bobs it away.
Rolt, the team captain, combines well with the other experienced men in the Jets, like Ray Cross. There over 200 England caps. And Ian Laker, a guard who's also a great shooter. The younger Steelers have Colin Price, who scored 27 points against Telford in the first match. Mark Cheney, who's classified as a one-point player. And Callum Gordon, the big, very impressive forward. So here is Price with the ball now. Clark again, good hands, Bramley. And Price to set it up once more.
Colin Price whips it across court to Mark Cheney. And then tries to get Colin Price, but it's intercepted by Ian Laker, but he can't hang on to it. It's going to be the Steelers' ball on the side.
That was unlucky. He had good awareness then.
Yeah, very unlucky for Ian Laker. But now, what's happening here? Quick feed back to Colin Price, and it's a beautiful basket. Classic Steelers play that, where the defence is worried here about Callum Gordon, and then they go out too late to Colin Price. Beautiful finger work, and in she goes.
So 4 points apiece. Here's Stuart Pimblett. Cross. And here's Laker. Pimblett again. Just inside that three-point line.
A little bit too long, that shot for Stuart Pimblett. Ian Laker rushing it as well. The Steelers' defence, it's a very physical defence, even though it's around the key. It's just putting them off the shooting action.
So here's Colin Price. Well, just look around him. Nothing was on. Goes alone. 2 to Price.
Really warming up here. His fingers look really hot. Oh, but there we see Ian Laker.
Ian Laker, who had such an influential time last year, staking his claim this. Mark Cheney. Price. Pimblett goes to him.
Stuart Pimblett been given the job to mark Colin Price, obviously, but he's just got away there. A poor pass there.
Under a good deal of pressure.
Yeah, under pressure, but still a poor pass.
Here's Price. Brown to him, but he gets it through to Gordon. And Cheney's free.
That was a great ball from Colin Price after the poor one.
So the Steelers in the lead by 2. Paul Hudson, their coach, has called a timeout. Let's hear what he has to say.
Listen, let's remember what we said we were going to do in changing rooms, OK? We've got this game won if we control ourselves.
Let's get the height in there.
Forget about the crowd.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do what we said we were going to do.
Think about pick and rolls off the top, OK? All the time, those threes are working well.
So now the Jets. Pimblett into a crowded area. Rolt. In he goes to Brown.
Lovely feed pass there from Chris Rolt. Steve Brown making his way through the key, just flicks it off the glass.
So the Jets level again, and they can't get away at the moment, the Steelers.
Mark Cheney taking up the point guard position. That's normally Colin Price's place. Good movement by the Steelers.
Cheney. Not this time. Laker again. Strong hands the rebound, but unfortunately the ball bounces away. But the last touch judged to have gone off the Steelers.
Yeah. Went off Dave Bramley's foot plates.
Licker into Rolt. Cross gives in space, goes through. Not them.
Now guarded by Callum Gordon. When you've got height around you like that, it really puts the shot off.
Brown in front of him, waiting for a move. Bramley feeds Price, and look at that, fading away. Chair sliding away, and he's still able to get it in.
Yeah, just got the chance there. It wasn't a very good ball into Dave Bramley, but it broke to Colin. Just put it straight in.
Timeout for the Jets.
What we're looking for, actually, on this one, is Ray. If Cheney's behind him, OK, we're looking for the ball to come down, you to go one-on-one against Cheney, OK? Then as Callum sags in, then if it's not on, you dump out, OK? Excellent play. Yeah, I just want to calm the offence down a bit. I want to throw them out of their defence to make them change it. OK, let's go. Let's have a defence on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Great motivation for the Jets there from coach Alan Rowley. He's trying to get Ray Cross, a 3-point player, to take on Mark Cheney, a 1-point player, with a mismatch. Let's see if he does it.
Here's Laker. And Brown.
We didn't see the mismatch there, but we saw space for Steve Brown. He could have done better with that shot.
Here's Clark. Price. Looks around, sees Gordon's free, and there's the simplest of baskets. They've got to be aware of that. We've seen it so many times before. That's a move they try so often.
They work very well together. Callum Gordon just called for the ball then. Colin knew where he was. High ball. 2 good points. Great rebound from Mark Cheney, and Callum Gordon's away.
Slows it down. Finds Clark. And Cross brings down the rebound. Rolled away. And Gordon just reaches in and gets the ball there.
What a check from Callum Gordon. There we see him. We see him on attack, and then he's back in defence. Great speed in the chair.
So it's not just the length of his limbs, it's also the quickness and speed of his awareness. Here's Rolt then. Just beginning to lose his touch a shade.
Yeah, just short with that shot. There was no rhythm in the setup of that shot.
A nice little move. Bramley out to Clark, but a foul off the ball.
Yeah, Dave Bramley there, after he'd made the pass, just checked into Steve Brown's chair. Attacking foul.
So sideline possession to the Jets, and they need a basket here.
They've got to work hard for it as well. Set up the good shot, really work hard, but Dave Bramley's playing good defence for the Steelers, 15. And there we've got a held ball situation between Terry Clark and Steve Brown, and the possession will go to the Jets on the side. Alternate possession in wheelchair basketball.
Here's Rolt. And you can see the determination etched on his face as he moves in there. And a shot away. The Steelers, though, the dominant force in a sport that's really on a boom at the moment.
Yes, the Steelers, they've been champions for the last 2 years. And now, with this boom, we're seeing the MK Aces coming through. The Owls are coming back with another good team. We're really pleased in Britain that the sport's doing so well.
Enough people taking the sport up at the bottom level?
That's where we're really putting our efforts, at the grassroots. More and more kids taking up the game. Forget about the competition to begin with. Just get them playing the game, feeling the ball, putting the ball in the basket. There's a lot happening in the country.
And here you're seeing it at the very, very top level. And there's perhaps the key man in British wheelchair basketball, Colin Price, getting 2 there. So 3 minutes to go. It's 14-10, the Steelers.
The Jets still doing very well. They're only 4 points behind. It hasn't been a high-scoring half. But if they let Colin Price get inside, he's going to tear them apart. They've got to watch that man.
The lead up to 6. Again, danger lurking. And the Jets have got to stay with them. They don't want to go in 10 points down or any more than 6 at half-time. Rolt. Yes, that's what he's been looking for.
Yeah, he's been looking for that shot. He had a little bit more time there to take his time, set his shot up, off the backboard and into the hoop.
Down to 4, and here comes Gordon. Plenty on over there. Price, and here's Clark. For once, quite a bit of space. Cross takes down the rebound. Pimblett. Oh, good interception from Price. Brown with him. but so quick to see it.
Oh, great move by Colin Price there. Just saw the chance, flicked the ball with those fingers, the same finger movement that puts the ball in the basket. They've got to keep control. They've got to make good passes, safe passes. Ray Cross playing the high post, but not a very good pass again.
And Price again gets the significant touch in. Bramley sends him away. Price on his own. 2 more for Colin Price. And that puts him up to 14 points. And at half-time, it's Steelers 21, Jets 15. You'll be back with us in a moment.
Welcome back. We're at Ponds Forge International Sports Centre in Sheffield, which is not just the home of the Big 8. This year it was host to the top wheelchair basketball teams of Europe.
Well, it's the major club event in the world. That it's the one that's best organised, it's been going longest. And the European zone is the most developed zone for wheelchair basketball, both on a national and on a club level. And this is the premier club competition, like the European Cup for football.
Basketball as played on the continent seems to have a different character to it.
Very methodical, some of them, really cool, calm, take their time, no rush at all. Just wait for the chance and then kill you off with it.
They tend to, on the whole, play with a lot more flair and aggression, and it's good. It's a very good experience. But I think overall the British standard's going up a lot more, and we're not that far behind them now. It won't be long before a British team wins this competition, I'd say.
The Sheffield Steelers are up there with the best.
It's much faster. The game is more physical. The players are so much more superior to the usual standard that you see maybe in Great Britain, in the lower divisions, and even in some of the first division teams. So you've got to be on your guard all the time, and the concentration span is much more. It really pushes me and tests me, and I do enjoy it.
But they had a disappointing Euro Cup this time, taking 4th place. European strength is not just a matter of the way the game is played.
I think attitudes maybe to the sport and development, because the Dutch and the French are both very strong here, and they both have come from very strong leagues with lots and lots of players, loads more than we've got. So I think, you know, that's come from the strength. We need to maybe just like try and get our sport taken up by more people.
1992 Euro Cup champions, the Kirk.
Let's rejoin Simon Reed and Phil Craven.
Just under 10 minutes to go in the second half, and the Steelers maintain their 6-point lead, 29-23 against the LGS Jets in black, and the Jets have done well to hang on in.
Very good aggressive defence there. Ian Laker and Chris Rolt on Mark Cheney. They've got to keep this up. No easy shots from the Steelers, or else they'll run away with this match.
So here's Price. Laker trying to get a hand in there. Clark. Oh, lovely touch on from Price to Bramley.
That was a lovely move. It was set off by Dave Bramley setting a screen at the top. The feed in from Terry Clark to Colin, who just bops it back to Dave Bramley and straight in the ring.
We talked about the development of the sport earlier on. How fast is it developing?
Really quickly now. Last season we had 36 teams in our 3 divisions in the National League, and it's going to be 45 in the coming season. And we want that to carry on year on year.
So sideline possession for the Jets. Certainly strengthened up.
Ray Cross feeding inside, but it's just picked off by Callum Gordon, who gets the fast breakaway.
Clark, Brown to him. Clark again. Gordon. Price.
Plenty of movement here by the Steelers.
And Clark gets the basket.
Nice little feed off from Colin Price. A lovely shot off the board from Terry Clark. Great recovery indeed now, but he's just committed a foul. Just went in too much on Stuart Pimblett.
But the Steelers have lengthened their lead now to 10 points. Critical time for the Jets if they're going to stay in this match. Here's Laker. Yes. Ian Laker, who's been a bit quiet of late, gets 2 more there. Back comes Price. Looking as if he means business.
Chris Rolton giving him close attention. They know who the danger man is. Good rebound by Steve Brown. Let's see if they can get away now. A good clean shot.
Laker sees the early ball on. It's into Pimblett. Yes.
Beautiful reverse spin shot off the glass there from Stuart Pimblett. One of his strengths.
Good pass. A bit like the quarterback. Seeing the wide receiver moving on. Very, very good. And the lead's down to 6.
Colin Price keeping his cool, looking for the opening.
Oh, what a shot there from Mark Cheney. Leaning back and still able to get the right trajectory.
Yeah, 1-point player, so he's got to keep his good balance. And the longer the shot, the more he'll lean back. Very talented player. One of the best players in the country, Mark Cheney.
Ian Laker looking a lot more confident now. Shot from Pimblett. Brown. Laker again. 2 more for Laker, and once again the lead down to 6.
A great combination there. Ray Cross using his height, high up in the chair, limits his mobility, but once he gets in the key, he can really use his height.
Price goes on his own, uses the backboard, and he's now up to 20 points as he lengthens the lead to 8 points. So tremendous shooting at the moment. Both defenses under a lot of pressure. Rolt.
Just slightly short there. Good rebound by Dave Bramley. He's far more in the game this half.
Price feeds Gordon. And by his standards, that wasn't a great shot.
Not a great shot, but he was checked on the arm and the referee didn't pick it up.
Laker feeds Rolt. Inside to Pimblett. He gets tremendous height on that, but the spin brought it down.
That was perfection. Perfection personified there.
Still, they can't shake them off, the Steelers. The Jets within 6.
Colin Price, quick look up at the clock there, just checking on things, and he knew what was going on there. What a feed inside.
So on offense, everything working well, but on defense, perhaps 1 or 2 questions to be asked for the Steelers.
Yep, definitely.
Rolt to Brown. Stuart Pimblett.
That was an important shot. He had far more time just to lift it a little bit more and put it in. He should have made the most of that. Colin Price under pressure. Chris Rolt saying, did he go back court?
Yes, well done. Terry Clark. Bramley. Gordon. Cheney. Oh, yes, that's why they're the #1 team.
That's class.
One more look at this terrific move. Over the top from Price. There's Bramley.
Feints away, doesn't look at Gordon. Gordon doesn't look at Cheney, but Cheney looks at the basket and puts it in.
So the lead, 10 now, 41-31. Laker dispossessed by Callum Gordon, but a 5-second call against the Jets.
Yeah, Chris Rolt just camping in the key there, just a little bit over 5 seconds. Call made by referee Gus Taylor.
5 seconds in the wheelchair game, 3 seconds in the running game. One of the very few differences in the 2 approaches to the sport. Bramley. And a foul that time against Rolt. And that, I'm afraid, is his 5th foul. And just as in the running game, it means he'll take no further part in the game. And that is a critical loss for the LGS Jets. Rolt's such an influential figure, both in his play and in the inspiration he gives to the rest. And at 10 points down with about 2.5 minutes left, I'm afraid they can kiss this match goodbye now. And as if to emphasise the point, Dave Bramley sinks another free throw. Dave, 23 years old, from Matlock in Derbyshire, 20 caps for GB, and he's going to win a lot more than that. A minute to go. Colin Price to the line. No mistake. He's really enjoyed his match here as the Steelers have moved further and further in front. Yes, that puts him on 22 points. Remember, he scored 26 in their first match against Telford.
Stuart Pimblett now taking a three-point shot, but more living in hope. And now we've got Dave Bibby on court for the Steelers. He passes to Ken James, who feeds Dave Bramley, and two more simple points.
So they've stretched the lead to 16. And
now here we see the Jets rolling the ball into play. The clock won't start until it's picked up by the first player. Starts now. They're saving time, hoping they've still got a chance, but really they've no chance now.
Brown into Laker. No foul against Gordon, but look at their commitment, even though they're 16 points down. Here's Ken James. And through it goes. A lovely ball into the young Philip Hogg. His first 2 points of the match.
Philip Hogg, he's only been playing for about 4 months. What an opportunity for him to come on court and put that ball through the hoop. He'll be over the moon with that.
Into the last 30 seconds now. Laker puts up a hopeful shot, but gets the three-pointer. 49-34. But it's come a little too late. Hogg into Gordon. Hogg again. Bibby. But the clock winds down, and the Steelers have done it. The Jets kept competitive, had the Steelers worried until Chris Rolt was fouled off with around 2.5 minutes to go. But I'm afraid they're out. The Steelers...
The best of Britain's wheelchair basketball teams compete for the title Big 8 champions. Hello and welcome to Ponsford, Sheffield for the final of the Big 8 tournament. And this is what the Sheffield Steelers and Milton Keynes Aces are playing for. It's the Big 8 trophy. The defending champions Sheffield Steelers made getting to the final look easy. In the first round they beat Telford Celtics 56-26. In the semi-final, superb teamwork gave them victory over the LGS Jets 49-34. The challengers, Milton Keynes Aces, have had a bit more fighting to do. They took out Capital City Jazz 41-29. But in the semis, Oldham Owls, a finalist last year, came closer at 42 points to 35. The team captains have led throughout by example. Colin Price for the Steelers scored 27 points in their first match against Telford, while Nigel Smith for the Aces scored 16 in the game with CC Jazz. But it's under the baskets where this final could be decided. Both sides have big men up front. For the Steelers, Callum Gordon and Dave Bramley. For the Aces, Tony Woolard and Simon Munn. And both sides, of course, are determined to win. On with the action, your commentators for the Big 8 final are Simon Reed and Phil Craven.
So Nigel Smith starts off with the ball for the Aces. Every player on court is an international, including Anne Wilde for the Aces, who plays, of course, for the Great Britain women's team. And here's the Steelers playmaker Colin Price, and the matchup between him and Nigel Smith should be fascinating, Phil.
Absolutely fascinating. Both players have to keep their sides together and have to put the ball in from inside and outside. And there we see a feed from Terry Clark to Dave Bramley, the first points of the match.
So Dave Bramley off to a good start, and the matchup under the basket just as crucial. Here's Jairatne. Clark all over him.
And head tennis there from Mark Cheney to Callum Gordon. He's on the break.
Colin Price with him. There's Price. Smith goes with him, but Price makes it 4-0 to the Steelers. So they're off to just the start they wanted.
Now they're putting the pressure on the Aces. But there's Tony Woolard in space. 2 good points.
Tony Woolard, who missed last year's Big 8 because of illness, and has been a big factor already in the Aces making the final. Price. Bramley, but Woolard, good hands from him.
What a check.
Smith then. And a frenetic start to the match, as we thought it might be. But Smith stays composed there and levels it up.
Nigel Smith just looking to pass inside, sees it's not on and fires the shot off himself.
So here's his counterpart, Price, and a good ball in there. Bramley once more. He's made a good start to the match.
Great start by Dave Bramley, normally overshadowed by Callum Gordon, but he's going to be in there in this match.
Bramley, who scored the deciding basket in last year's Big 8.
Simon Munn all on his own. Where's Callum Gordon? He should be covering Simon Munn on that play.
So the Aces back level. And here comes Price. Drifts past Anne Wild. Bramley out to the left, and Price goes alone.
It's got to be down to Colin Price for the Steelers. The others aren't firing. Dave Bramley's assisting, but Colin Price has got to do it on his own.
Nigel Smith. Floats in and again. And Simon Munn. Good second effort from Simon Munn. Big men all around him, but still gets the basket.
Towering over the tall men from the Steelers there. Second rebound. In she goes.
6 minutes to go. It's 11-10 to the Aces. Oh yes, good pass in from Jairatney to Munn, who's having a tremendous first half. Simon Munn.
What an improvement from Simon Munn in this last 12 months. Such a big presence inside.
So here's Price. Woolard. And then Jairatney to him. Terry Clark. Good ball to Price. Cheney into Bramley, not that time.
Lovely movement, but Dave Bramley just under pressure. But here we see Mark Cheney recovers.
Price again, settles it down, looks for the options. Calls for help, gets a screen, and in it goes. A big crowd here in Ponds Forge, most of them of course supporting the Steelers, and they'll be happy that Colin Price is keeping them alive.
Yeah, but I'm concerned about the 1 or 2 man attack from the Steelers against the 5-man attack from the Aces. Can they sustain it? I would doubt it unless they get more men involved in the attack.
And the Aces are getting it inside time after time. Once again, Simon Munn. Again, he gets a second rebound, and again he makes it count.
What a presence from Simon Munn.
He's up to 8 points now. Price. And Jairatney a little upset. A foul against Anne Wild that time.
Joe Jairatney thought they had that attack covered there. No need for the foul, but anything happens in the heat of battle.
Price again. Again he sends up the shot himself. And again he scores, and the lead down to 1. Jairatney. Smith. Jairatney again. In it goes to Woolard. Jairatney. And a foul there on Colin Price.
He's not happy with that, but that was definitely just a little nudge foul from Colin Price, stopping Joe Jairatney moving.
Nudged him with just the bottom of his chair.
Yeah, foot plate to foot plate, but it was definitely a holding foul.
So they're on 17 fouls, the Steelers, 1 and 1, but Jairatney misses the first.
Interception again from the Aces, though.
Good awareness from Jairatney, and look at the battle here between the playmakers, Smith and Price. Again, it's into Woolard.
Foul called, and if that's Mark Cheney's foul, it's his 4th. One more and he'll be off court for the rest of the game.
So Woolard to the line. So Paul Hudson's going to call a timeout and make the substitution. Woolard, meanwhile, gets the first free throw. 27 years old, already 35 international caps. Used to play able-bodied basketball and has made a very quick transition. And look at him hustle here.
Now we've got a held ball situation. I think this will be the timeout.
Yes, that's the timeout that Paul Hudson wanted, and I should think Mark Cheney is likely to be subbed.
He's off. He's subbed.
I'll be all right.
He's subbed. Listen.
Right, that passing just let me start, didn't it? Come on.
Straight swap.
Colin Price urging his team to get their act together.
And they can't be happy. Mark Cheney then. 4 fouls already, 3 minutes to go in the first half, and he's a key member as we saw last year. David Bibby is the substitute for Mark Cheney. Number 12, you'll see him in a moment. There on the far side. Now here's Callum Gordon. And the tall hands there of Simon Munn.
There we see Simon Munn. He's important, very important on offence, but he can take those defensive rebounds.
Miss from Nigel Smith. Willard again. Fights and draws the foul once more.
Dave Bibby just replaced Mark Cheney and he commits his first foul.
Dave Bibby, 35 years old, helps with the fundraising for the Steelers, but didn't help them there as he sends Tony Willard to the line. Massively powerful.
Disregards the crowd's attention to his shot and puts the ball away.
Yes, they're a fairly biased lot here at Ponds Forge.
No doubt about it, they've got drums going a lot, but the Aces are well in command here.
Foul there against Simon Munn. That's his 3rd, so he's got to be careful, especially as he's having such a good game. 5 fouls, remember, as in the running game, and you're off. So here's Price.
Nice ball movement from the Steelers. They're
Bibby.
not getting the opening.
Colin Price into Gordon, but again hustled out of it by Tony Willard. Brownlee takes a tumble, and look at the effort here.
They've got to get the ball over the halfway line within 10 seconds, and they've done it now.
Good play from Jairatney. And a terrific collection from Munn, and again he makes it count.
Just leaning away, flicks the ball up with those powerful fingers.
So the lead up to 5.
Leaning in from Tony Willard, that's his first foul.
And the Aces in foul trouble now. They're on 17 fouls, so 1-1 for the Steelers. And Callum Gordon gets his first point of the match.
It's a beautiful action. Let's see if he can repeat it. No, just short this time. He's got the rebound.
But didn't have the confidence there to go in with the shot.
He should have put that ball away, straight in off the backboard.
And more confusion from the Steelers, and here comes Jairatney. But look at Price. So intense. And he gets the foul against Jairatney.
Colin Price will go to the line now for 1-on-1.
A man on a mission here, Price.
He just needs a bit more support.
Steelers unbeaten in the regular season. Twice winners over the Aces. Already in the league. Oh dear, it's just not going right for them. So, into the last minute.
They're applying the pressure now, the Steelers, but the Aces have got through.
Again, tremendous take from Willard there, one-handed. Smith calling for one more offense here. Willard. Brownlee goes out to meet him, but a good basket again from Willard. The lead up to 6.
What a presence Tony Willard's made to this match. If only he'd been there last year, it might have been a different story.
Looking for the last shot. Terry Clark is the man who puts it in. Nigel Smith picks it up. But there, the half-time buzzer. And a very impressive half two from the Aces, particularly by Simon Munn. In my book, very much the man of the first half.
Well, I've just been looking at the stats, and Simon's actually kind of up on Callum, I'd have thought, offensively, and told Callum to actually take Simon out all the way, full court press. So Simon will be looking to do that, and hopefully the rest of the game will come from there.
A month ago, we had them down by 15 points by halftime, and they came back and won by 3 points. We had them and we lost them. I'm not going to do it this time.
Welcome back to Ponds Forge in Sheffield. 12 minutes to go in the second half of the Big 8 final. Milton Keynes Aces 23. Last year's winners Sheffield Steelers struggling on 18.
Now we see another big rebound from Simon Munn, straight back in the action with 2 points.
So the lead immediately up to 7.
Pressure defence from the Aces, not letting the Steelers settle on the ball.
Into Gordon. And again it doesn't go in for him. He's had a pretty average first half, Callum Gordon, and that's the way it looks as if it's continuing. Jairatney.
Munn's in again.
Has such good balance and such strength in those arms, and he draws the foul there against Callum Gordon. Jairatney. Into Smith. 2 more.
Beautiful play there by Joe Jairatney. Seeing Nigel Smith in space after Tony Woolard had made that space.
And a real crisis for the Steelers now. They're down by 9. Price. Into Gordon. That time he gets it. And makes it count with only his second field goal of the match.
Got to see more from Callum Gordon here in this second half. Otherwise, they can kiss it goodbye.
Smith. Rebound from Woolard, and he draws the foul.
Brilliant rebound from Tony Woolard. He's so pleased about that. Look at his face.
Yes, the Aces on a high. Here it is, comes down. Look, one-handed, picks it up, gets the basket, and draws another foul on Gordon. 7 minutes to go. 9 points to lead. And another foul against Woolard. And I'm afraid that's his 5th, and he'll be off.
So disappointed, Tony Woolard, then just reaching in too far with that great driver with the ball, Colin Price, going round him. This could be major problems for the Aces. Who are they going to put on for Tony Woolard? Shafiq just adding up his points there. He's bringing John Liddy on, 3 points for Tony Woolard, 2.5. That means he's going to have to take Joe Jairatney off a 3-point player and replace him with Charles Blomfield, number 10.
Yes, Blomfield, number 10. John Liddy, number 15. So Jairatney takes a rest. Colin Price has got to be careful. He's on 4 fouls. And another foul called, this time I think against Liddy.
That's right, Liddy committing his first foul, just a little bit cold after just coming on. Timeout called.
If you want to come across, Anne, what do you do?
Yeah, come here.
Right, guys, keep your press up and down everywhere. I want to see you everywhere, right? 6 minutes, 33, 29's up. It's about 4 minutes now, no one has scored. I want a bucket.
And there's a man who might well give it to him, Simon Munn. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left. The lead's still 9 for the Aces.
The Steelers have got to see this as their big chance. They've got rid of Tony Woolard. They've got to exploit this situation.
Dave Brownlee to the line. Picks up the rebound.
Colin Price floating around with the ball, looking for the opening. Straight across the key. What a shot from Cheney.
Cheney's second basket of the match. And the lead down to 7. Again, tremendous awareness from Price. Knows where Cheney likes to be. And he makes the lead just 7 points, around 6 minutes to go. Smith to Ann Wild.
Big rebound there from Callum Gordon. What a ball!
To Colin Price. Yes! His 10th point of the match, but more importantly, the lead down to 5.
That ball sliced open the Aces' defence. Brilliant pass.
So the Steelers on a charge, and can the Aces cope with this?
Here we see the Steelers now putting the pressure defence on the Aces. Nigel Smith gets out of it, but he's still under pressure.
Through it goes to Simon Munn. And again, tremendous change of balance in the chair. 2 more points for Simon Munn. He's on 14.
He's keeping them in this match here, keeping that lead to 5-7 points.
Good pass, and a foul there on Ann Wild.
It's an intentional foul called by Gus Taylor. She knew she had to stop Callum Gordon there. So he'll go to the line for 2 shots, and then it'll still be the ball to the Steelers.
Tremendous pass from Colin Price to send Gordon now to the line. And Wild on 4 fouls, along with Munn for the Aces. And with Price, Gordon and Cheney on 4 fouls as well. So they've all got to watch out. One more and they're off. Gordon, who's had a frustrating time of it so far, sinks the first free throw. And the lead, 6.
Oh, what skill there from Colin Price, the wraparound. Feeds to Cheney.
And Martin McElhatton picking up the garbage there. To Smith. Gyratney. And Wild, thwarted by Big Dave Bramley.
Steelers have really got the bit between the teeth. They've got to convert it to points on the board.
Gordon just off. Price. Cheney. No, it just won't go in for them. Smith. And the danger ease now. McElhatton out of his chair. But good defending.
Good defending, very good defending. Just overbalanced there, Martin McElhatton. No foul call.
Paul Hudson looks up. Less than 2 minutes to go. And the title looks to be slipping away.
They're not giving it up lightly. Now look at this pressure defence here.
Gyratney, look at the speed. To Munn, 2 more for Munn. He's up to 16, the lead 8.
That man's unstoppable. Wish he was playing for my club.
Here's Price. Oh yes, that's the composure they need. Still keeping them honest. Less than 2 minutes to go though. McElhatton, good recovery. Smith, biding his time. Trying to slow it down as much as they can.
Yeah, and Callum Gordon knows they've got to get the ball, so he just reached in too far there, committed the foul, but it gives a chance for a further interception.
Gordon now on 4 fouls. And Smith just easing the pressure now, slowing the game down. Easier said than done. Just running the clock down. Nearly a minute to go. A minute from their first victory over the Steelers this year in the Big 8 final.
Must be frustrating for the Steelers, winding that clock down, takes the shot, misses.
And the Steelers have to score on every offense from now on in. Gordon, oh yes, Smith with the interception. Bramley and Price to him. And Bramley and Gyratney, and the sheer power of Bramley's arm brought Gyratney down there.
Yeah, I thought Dave Bramley pulled Joe out of the chair there, but I think the referee called it on Joe.
Gyratney, 28 years old. Transferred this year from Capital City Jazz, but he's absolutely thrilled he has. On the verge of a major victory here. Clark.
3-point attempt, but it failed.
Gordon desperately trying to keep the ball inbounds. Smith. Gordon. Yes. Good hands from Gordon. Price with a big chance. Oh no. And that may be their last chance gone. 6 points to lead into the last 30 seconds. And Wild clinches the title and her first points of the tournament.
Look at the bench, never mind I'm Wild, they're going wild.
And the title firmly theirs now. Nothing the Steelers can do about it, much as they try. Colin Price goes for a 3-pointer, draws a foul. It means he'll go to the line for 3 free throws. But it's academic, as you can see, under 3 seconds left. And even this great player can't turn it around from here.
Scored the first, probably try and get the second and then go for a rebound off the ring on the third. Because he knows he's got to get more points out of this than just 3.
But even for Price to get 6 more points in 2.5 seconds,
it's going some.
Beyond his powers.
It is beyond his powers, but he's been trying so hard with not a lot of support in this match. It's been 5 against 1 and 2 at times.
So there's the final buzzer. And a big, big surprise, a rare defeat for the Sheffield Steelers. And this year we have new champions.
New champions, and what worthy champions. What a team. Speed, height, manoeuvrability, passing skills. That says it all.
So there's a new name to be inscribed onto the Big 8 trophy. Led by their captain Nigel Smith, the new Big 8 champions are the Milton Keynes Aces.